Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, but honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place.
Girlies, I am so excited to be back in your ears today. The conversation today is a little bit different. We're about a month post-Valentine's Day almost, and I really want to talk about it because this year was the first time maybe that I was mature enough to realize that so many people go through so many different emotions on Valentine's Day, and it can really trigger a lot. I do feel like I did understand it more this year because I have a lot of girlies on my social media and they were all posting their boyfriends. I think before my business, I don't really think I had that many people, obviously, just like people I knew, but now I have a bunch of girls that I don't even know, and I was seeing all their relationship posts. And I was talking to a couple of my clients about this, and I realized that a couple of my clients were feeling quite down about Valentine's Day as a whole, just being single, lonely, all of the things. So I want to talk about post-Valentine's Day in a bit of a slump, the feelings on that day, and try to kind of like switch the narrative and talk about moving past it and all of those things. First things first, let's do a little bit of a recap on what's been happening in my life. We're in March, and at the time of recording this, I'm like halfway through my 90-day plan, and I'm halfway through where I want to be. So I'm actually running right on track. It would be a bloody miracle if something crazy happened and I just went zoom and went straight ahead. But practicing patience is something really, really important, especially in business. And I've been growing so much behind the scenes regardless, but I will keep you all updated on it because I know I'm the type of person that if someone mentions something like once, I remember and I'm always thinking about it and I'm wanting to know. So I'm not going to leave you in the dark. It's tracking along well, and I'll keep you all updated as time moves forward. I am still tracking along in my deficit as well. Nothing new or crazy to update as of right now, but don't forget, for live updates, jump into my broadcast on my Instagram. It's just called Girls in Their 20s. It's free. You just click join and then we get to a little chit chat. Well, I mean, you don't get to reply to me, I don't think, which sucks, but I get to give you live updates, and it's better than waiting every single week for this episode. It's like you're getting updates whenever, which I love. If there's one thing you should know about me, I love a good yap. As soon as something comes to my mind, I love to talk on it. And instead of sitting down in front of the laptop, getting out the mic, it is so much easier to just send a little voice message to the group. And I love when it resonates. I love when you guys react and give it love hearts and things like that. So I know that this is something that like actually aligns with you and something hot on your mind. And that's how I knew. I didn't hear anyone talk about the Valentine's Day loneliness or anything, and it just kind of came to the forefront of my mind, and I straight up just went into the broadcast and started talking about it. By the way, I'll link the broadcast below just in case you can't find it. And I just started talking about loneliness and, you know, comparison on socials and everything, and there was a couple of people liking it, and I was like, yes, okay, this topic is in. A lot of us are feeling it, and you know, obviously my target audience is girls in their 20s, so girls in their 20s go through a lot, but dating is such a big one, and that's what kind of inspired this chat today. And I think 1 month is the perfect time to have this conversation, because how are you actually feeling 1 month post? What have you implemented since this feeling on Valentine's Day? These are lonely feelings, these comparative feelings, which I'll get into explaining more in a minute. But the first thing I want you to think before I talk about everything is what has changed. And if it's nothing, then you really needed this conversation today, and I'm so glad I brought it forward 1 month post Valentine's Day. So let's talk Valentine's Day loneliness. I noticed a lot of my single and taken girlies were feeling really lonely. I think it's mostly because of social media. There was never a time before where you could find out every single detail of every single person's life and what they're doing until this age of social media, which has gone crazy post-COVID. And I love it because it's actually helped me connect with so many women and stuff like that. But I hate it for the fact that we've gone into this self-comparison cycle. And I know I've done a whole episode on this, so I'm not going to be like deep diving into self-comparison. But I think the comparison of your relationship is really prominent around Valentine's Day, especially because I noticed a lot of girls were getting extravagant gifts. They were going on holidays crazy amounts of money were being spent, and Valentine's Day used to never be like that. Valentine's Day used to be like a little chocky bar, like a little family block or whatever, some flowers, maybe a teddy, and that was it. Now it's gone extreme. People are celebrating it like they're celebrating milestones in their relationship, which is absolutely wild to me. If you do that, that's like no judgment from me. I just can't believe the amount of energy we now put into Valentine's Day. It must be like a consumerism thing, because I saw the marketing was so ramped up this year. There was so much love stuff everywhere. Pink, red, just things were everywhere. And I think that if I was single, I would be feeling very, very overwhelmed by all of this. Or even if I was in a relationship that wasn't fulfilling, I would be feeling very overwhelmed by all of this and seeing it all on my social media. Because when you're lonely and single, what are you doing? You're scrolling on your phone, and then what are you seeing? Every single person out for dinner and doing the damn thing. First of all, what did I do? I went out and I got some takeaway. I hate going out for Valentine's Day because everyone's out. The service is shit. The restaurant is busy and loud, and you're all jammed in like it's a pack of sardines in that place, and all you can hear is other people's conversations. And I just feel like we don't need a random day to solidify anything. You can go out with your partner and enjoy quality time whenever. We don't all need to be doing it at the same fucking time. Even when I was waiting for the takeaway, because of course I don't go in, I force Luke to go in, I was watching all these couples walk down to the restaurants and things, and they're wearing like full suits, fancy outfits, all of the things. And I know that when you're single, that is the worst thing you can see. And obviously, like, other people's relationships, whatever, go and do the thing. Don't change yourself. If you want to wear a fancy dress like outfit, don't change yourself for someone else. But I understand both sides. I'm the devil's advocate. I can always see both sides of things. And I think it's because I've always been on both sides. But that's what I wanted to do. And Luke was on the same page with me with that. But if I wanted to do that and then my partner wanted to go out and then there was a big argument about it, then both of us would be subconsciously comparing our relationship to others. Oh, well, they went out and did this fancy thing. Oh, well, they booked a holiday. Oh, they did this, they did that. And how do we know that? Social media. And obviously influencers and celebrities make it worse for us because they are doing the fucking most. They're getting the fucking caviar on their hand. Yuck, by the way. But like, you know what I mean? They're doing the extravagant things and making us feel subconsciously like, oh, my relationship's shit because all I got was some flowers. No, it's not. Your relationship's only shit if you got absolutely nothing and the day wasn't even acknowledged, which I've heard is very common. Dump him. Especially because a lot of us are in situationships, in phases of confusion and not sure if you're together or not, breaking up, getting back together. I know I have a couple of clients who have like been in such weird limbo with their partners. Honestly, my advice always, dump him. There are so many fish in the sea, boys and girls. Why the hell are we settling for absolutely nothing? Absolutely nothing. You're not even going to go pick a rose out of the fucking bush. Are you for real? I know that this brought up a lot of like an awkwardness as well between friends because some girls were wanting to do galentines, but then the friends obviously had boyfriends, and it's kind of like, what can you do in that situation because your friends aren't free, you don't have a partner, and then you kind of just bed rot and get into this space of feeling lonely at home and feeling like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm single, all my friends are in a relationship, like, I'm so lonely, like I'm just gonna sit here and scroll my phone. What's on your phone, bestie? Valentine's Day stuff. I'm going to get into advice and things I would do and things later, but you are better off having high expectations, not dating some dickhead, and being single and lonely that night than going into a relationship that you don't even want to be in. I was talking to one of my clients. She went out on a date with some loser guy and she was like, 2 hours of my time I'm never going to get back, $50 down the drain. And I was like, why are we settling for less? We need to set some more boundaries and we need to do a bit more of an analysis on these fucking losers. I'm not sure if she met him on a dating app, probably, because just like she didn't know who he was. But like, we need to do a bit more. We need to send them a fucking survey and get them to fill it out. And we need to figure out if they're weirdos or not before we see them. Because why are we wasting our time? The conversation's dry. It's boring. And honestly, we're going out of our way to go sit and listen to some boring ass guy because we are feeling embarrassed by the fact we're lonely, which is not embarrassing at all. I think the embarrassment piece comes from the societal pressures of the particular timeline and path. Like, you need to have kids by this age, you need to be engaged by this, whatever. And I know I can't really talk because I'm in a relationship and I'm still so young, but I think everyone in their 20s is still so young. I know people that started freaking out that they were single by like mid 20s, and I was like, I get it, because some people like, you know, have a timeline that they want to stick to, but honestly, post COVID, I think COVID created this like permission slip almost, that the expectations are in the bin. The fucking societal norms and expectations from the fucking 1900s are in the bin. COVID changed everything. It took like 3 years off our lives that we're never going to get back. It changed how people interact. It heightened anxieties for people. I know a lot of people got diagnosed with a lot of things because they found it out in COVID, and that changes a lot. A lot of people changed careers, which means they changed in the circles they ran in. They stopped, you know, communicating with particular people, and some people went to uni and then left, and like that changed so much. And I think that also almost gave an unofficial permission slip for the timeline to change, and for you to not feel like you need to already be in a relationship and be married and having kids and things like that just because of your age. I don't really think your age should dictate anything. And I know for some people, you want kids and you're thinking about you want to be a young mum, or you're thinking about how your eggs and things like that. But like, are you actually happy? Do you actually know yourself well? Like, who are you as a single person? Because if you don't even know and you can't even be happy with yourself single, then how the fuck are you going to be in a relationship? Someone I know recently started dating someone new, and she has completely changed. She has conformed her whole identity to him. And I was like, it's because you don't even know who you are. You're so busy chasing this relationship that you actually don't even know who you are, because you've made single something that's embarrassing when it's not, and you spent no time working on yourself. You will stop going and like dating stupid random men or women and feeling like you have to just do shit that you don't want to do and push your boundaries and people please once you feel confident and happy within yourself. And I talk to so many women every single day, and we're all lacking so much confidence within ourselves. We're not going to find that through someone's musty son. There is so much pressure from everyone, family, friends, all of these people for you to be in a relationship. But why is single something that is wrong? Why is this something that we need to fix? I actually see it as a season of growth, self-discovery, and stepping into like your full fucking power. And I haven't gone into like what I would do instead of, you know, being lonely at home on Valentine's Day. But why not go work on yourself? It's like when you and your partner break up or whatever, and you're like, oh, revenge body, but you never commit to it. I actually think single is the era of I'm going to go and fully put all my energy into myself. And I know it sounds selfish, but this is like your permission slip to be selfish, because what happens if you and your partner break up? Who do you have and what do you have then? If you don't even like yourself, you're just going to spiral. But you, yourself, you always have your own back. Whatever you put into yourself is always returned to yourself. And I think about all the time how we always want to self-sabotage. We want to lay in bed. We want to inhale the cupboard. We want to do all the things that we know make us feel shit and make us go into a shame spiral and get in our head about things. But that's not actually the energy of the fact that 1, you have one body, 2, you have one life, and 3, you actually want to show up and have confidence in that. I'm so sick of, I know why this happens, but I'm so sick of seeing so many girls hiding and feeling afraid to be out there and be bold and be confident. And I was speaking to someone today and she was like, I'm scared to go into the weights section at the gym. Like I hide in the cardio. And I was like, we're changing that. I was like, we are absolutely changing that. I will see you fucking next week, bitch. like literally, she signed up. I was like, I'll see you next week, because we are changing that. I'm so done with women feeling like they can't be in the gym. They can't take up space. They can't be selfish and work on themselves. Who fucking made it selfish? Who made it selfish to look after your body and actually care about your appearance in a non-vain way and like actually want to feel your body and care about yourself? Like actually, who made that a problem? Probably men, because they fucking do everything and control the fucking world. I honestly think being single is so empowering. We don't fucking need them. They just fucking leave skitties in the toilet anyway. Seriously. I literally know that my partner is listening to this thinking like, why is she on this single fucking mantra right now? But I just want to like flip the switch and change the narrative. It's not wrong to be single, and I don't know why we make it so fucking wrong. And something I actually was thinking of recently was I want to start pushing out of my comfort zone and doing more like solo dates and tasks. Right now, obviously I train solo, I go for walks sometimes solo, but that's kind of it. And I also can't imagine myself in a cinema solo or like at a restaurant solo. But like, I don't know why I'm in my head about that. Why can't I go solo? You know what I mean? Like, why is that embarrassing? It's not. And I think that's the problem with single as well. We think, oh, we're single, so we're never going to leave the house again, or we're not going to go out and do things and stuff like that because we don't have someone to do it with. And I know friends can be shit sometimes because they have partners, they have obviously work life, all of the things, but you also need to extend the olive branch. I message my friends like all the time, hey, want to go for a walk? If they say no, I'm still going for the fucking walk, but I just think, why not extend the fucking olive branch? And yeah, sometimes it's annoying feeling like you always have to reach out, but it's like sometimes friends are just fucking shit, to be honest, or sometimes life gets in the way. I'm extra lucky though because I have a wealth of friends through my clients as well. Like one of my clients was mentioning the other day that she wants to go on a coastal walk and she has no one to go with. And I was like, I'll go with you, bitch. And then I was like, this is so funny because she's literally my client. But in the same breath, like we're besties and I just have so many people to hang out with all the time. So I feel like I have a wealth of friends just through clients and things like that. And I understand that you can feel lonely and not have that many friends to go with. I fully get that. At school, I didn't have that many friends at all. A question I always ask people when they first reach out to me or if they like book a call and we've never chatted before is, I know we're here to talk health and fitness, but tell me something that fills up your cup, makes you happy, that makes you feel good. Tell me something about you and your hobbies that's not anything to do with work, your relationship, or health and fitness. And almost 9 times out of 10, these girls are stumped, which is a bad thing, but a good thing. It's good because I'm like, okay, cool, like let's change the narrative. But it's bad because why can we not even tell someone what fills our cup up? Because we don't know, because we spend so much time investing into other people's lives, investing into relationships or trying to get into a relationship or following societal norms and pressures and doing all of these things. And I always just go against the grain. Like I said, I didn't even go out for Valentine's Day. I got some fucking takeaway. I watched Apple Cider Vinegar, the new Mel Gibson series on Netflix, and I went against the norms completely because I do not conform to fucking norms. I do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. If you're in my world, you know that. I'm very random and rogue, but I fucking get results and it works. We don't need to be so structured and routine to do this like one way. And don't get me wrong, I love structure, I love routine. I'm very like time-stamped girly, but there's no right and wrong, and I've been spending so much time learning that this year, especially really leaning into the emotional side of things. The past, I want to say 6 months, I've been learning so much about myself, about how I show up and how my emotions dictate things and where I'm like a bit more emotional rather than a business owner or whatever, and kind of just figuring out me and my identity and things like that. And I think I realized there's no right or wrong. And you're never going to feel one way about something. And sometimes you need a minute to sit with your thoughts and reflect and actually know what you want. And that doesn't happen in a relationship necessarily. That happens when you're solo. And when I say solo, even just going on walks without having music on. I love either listening to a podcast or just being with my thoughts. The reason I say podcast is because they always open up so many ideas for me. And like I think of so many new things in life, in business, in whatever it may be, just new perspectives. I love hearing opinions and perspectives. Maybe I don't agree with them, but I like to hear people's reasons, and it gets me thinking about wider issues. Something about me is I fucking hate watching the news, but I don't mind if people talk about a little things here and there. I can't stand the news though. I love it in like a girls in their 20s style like breakdown. So I like that, or I'll listen to absolutely nothing. If you know me, you know that like my street doesn't have footpaths and I literally have to walk around in the middle of the road when I go on walks, so it is a bit dangerous, so I don't wear earphones. But even if I did, it's podcast or nothing. So I walk with nothing and I try to really deep dive into my thoughts, things that are making me happy, things that are draining me, things that need to change, and just actually figuring out me and my identity and who I am as Jess Hugo, not who I am as a partner or who I am for whatever the fucking thing is. And I think Obviously, the pressures come from society because, as I said, Valentine's Day was getting pushed in every shopping center. I was seeing so many, even restaurants do like special deals for it. Even not restaurants, but just like random cafes and like takeaway places. And I was like, this is full on. I've never noticed this at this level before. And I was chatting to some of my clients about it, and they were kind of spiraling. Some of the single girls who are a little bit in their later 20s, they were kind of saying that they felt like they're not good enough, and all the feelings were coming up for them. And I was like, you are good enough. You just don't know who you are without thinking that you need to meet this timeline. Because what's the reason you think you're not good enough? Oh, because I'm like old and I haven't got a boyfriend. So who made that wrong? Or who like made that not good enough? What is that? How does that equal not good enough? How does that equate not good enough? You're only thinking that because friends say that, or family say that, or societal pressures and norms say that. But in reality, you wouldn't actually think that if that wasn't the timeline. If the timeline was women had their kids in their like 40s, you wouldn't fucking think that. It's just because that's the opposite. Also, I know that some women obviously have kids in their 40s, but obviously that's high risk pregnancy. It's not fucking suggested by doctors, whatever. You already know. I don't need to disclaimer you. But I was like, who made that wrong, babe? Like, seriously. And I'm probably going to grill all my clients this week and ask them more about their dating life and if they're on any apps and who they're talking to and stuff like that, because I'm so curious to know what we're all deep down thinking. I know it's so nosy, but I love to hear about it because, like, why are we changing our lives for some crusty dusty man? And like, all jokes aside, but literally someone's fucking bitchy ass son, really? I want to talk some things I would do on Valentine's Day in the future, or just next time you're feeling this type of way, because I know it can come up randomly. I know you can literally be scrolling on your phone and some random couple has gone on a holiday somewhere and like it's a spontaneous trip, or they're celebrating an anniversary, or maybe it's your favorite influencer or something, and then you start feeling a bit like, oh, like, look at them. That's such a cute location. That's so thoughtful. Their partner's so nice. And it gets you either A, comparing your partner and your relationship, or B, wishing you were in a relationship with someone full stop. So someone else could, organize these trips and things like that. So what I would be doing, planning a Galentine's, like, I know that a lot of people that I spoke to about it, because I obviously spoke to my clients in advance, they were mentioning that their friends all had boyfriends, so they were doing Valentine's with their boyfriends, but planning on the weekend or something with the girls, a charcuterie with the girls, something that you can just do something for, and so it just feels a little less lonely and makes the event more fun, because otherwise in your head Valentine's Day is going to be like a toxic thing. So definitely planning something with the girls, but on the night of, a solo night, stay in, get some takeaway, watch some Netflix. That's literally what I did. But also just take it the extra step. Go do an everything shower, read if you like reading, wash your hair in your everything shower with your favorite shampoo, shave your legs, put a face mask on, moisturize, go the 9 yards. I talk more about this on the self-care episode, but go the 9 yards and then go make your favorite sweet treat. Bake some cookies, maybe do some chocolate covered strawberries. There are so many things, and I don't know if I just like love leaning into the self-care aspect, but anytime I am feeling some type of way, whether I feel really stressed with work or I have some free time to myself, I always want to either walk, read, go make some sweet treat, something like that. They always really fill up my cup, and it's fun. And then once I get this coloring book, it will be over for you bitches. I'm going to have so many hobbies you won't be able to keep up. No, but seriously, solo date inside and doing your hobby. So whatever makes you happy, reading, coloring, whatever. If you're going to scroll, get off your phone and just watch TV instead. Don't watch some fucking romance. Watch some thriller. Don't read romance. Read a thriller. I fucking love a thriller. So, I'm going to recommend it till the cows come home, because I literally love them so much. And it fully gets your mind off anything. You can be so stressed about work, or you can be thinking you can be overthinking the conversation you just had on fucking the dating app. But once you're in a thriller, you're trying to work out the book for the death of you. So you don't actually have time to think about anything else, to be honest. All jokes aside, because I know this has been a bit jokey, I am being serious at the same time. I just want to keep it lighthearted because I know it's a serious conversation, but you truly do need to find yourself and work on yourself to be your best version of yourself in a relationship. There is no point running into dating whoever is fucking available and dropping your expectations. Your expectations aren't too high just because you're still single, and I think you should keep your boundaries in place, because boundaries are hot. We don't want to be all walked over anymore. Do you know how often people used to walk over me all the time and use me? Absolutely not. We don't do that anymore. I have such strong boundaries and authority in all versions of my life, business, and everything now. And I love it. Because what have I done? I've worked on myself. You guys already know I've lost 20 kilos. I've toned up completely. I've built my glutes. I've become so much healthier and fitter. I can run long distances. I can walk long distances without feeling like I can't keep going, without feeling really itchy in the legs, without feeling any type of way. I can lift heavy weights like this. I literally posted the other day, and I didn't even realize this until I wrote it in the post. I can kick back 25 kilos on the one fucking glute. Is that not wild? That is wild to me. And I never would even realize I was at that point until I posted it. And I was like, oh, wait, what? I'm doing literally 12.5 each side of the bar, but it's single leg. It's like a bar for me because I don't have like a pin loaded. It's like you add the weights on, which is 25 kilos. And I was like, that's insane. Imagine if you put all that energy into working on yourself, becoming a better version of yourself and being your fittest version of yourself. Like, you would completely transform, and I bet you would attract higher quality men that actually look after themselves and aren't fucking mummy's boys, and men who actually want to treat you right and take you out for Valentine's Day and look after you and nourish you, and they want to work on the relationship and they want to freaking live a healthy life too. Because I know I talk a lot about the things we want, like the dream body and things like that and the weight loss goal. But at the end of the day, living a healthy lifestyle equals longevity. If you want to live for a long time, if you want to have healthy bones, if you want to go up the stairs without feeling out of breath, then that is like the whole reason to be living a more nutritious and healthy lifestyle. And if you work on yourself and become that, you're going to attract that. Whereas if right now you're bed rotting and inhaling the whole cupboard, you're going to attract a low quality person living that same life, because you know, even if you're living that life right now, you know that's not what you're destined for. You know that's not what you desire, but the reason that's happening is because you're feeling like shit, and you don't want to attract someone else that is feeling like shit, because it's going to bring you down and make you stay in this self-hatred, self-sabotaging cycle of feeling like shit. Now, I know I've said all of the things and you're probably like, okay, Jess, like that was overwhelming. What are the next steps for me? How do I start working on myself? All of the things. And I know this specifically, 3 DMs that I received this week are at the top of my mind while I talk about this. One, first and foremost, someone saying that they were really confused about what to do in the gym, the workout splits, all of the things. Two, someone telling me that their dietitian recommended they eat 1,300 calories, which is wild to me. And three, another girl saying that she feels like she can't be in the gym, doesn't belong in the weight section, and all of those. Insert the fucking things. So those are inspiring the next conversation. Okay, what workout split should you be doing? I'm going to be so honest with you right now. I'm going to link below my Train with Jess program. It's an 8-week program and it is an ebook, so it's self-paced. You can get in the gym, read the ebook like on the day, do that workout and just get it done. It's $29.95. It's like not custom to you, of course, but if you're someone that doesn't need one-to-one support and you're craving that structure in the gym, she's great. I would definitely be starting there. If you were about intermediate, not a complete newbie where you don't know the names of things, because there's obviously, it's all by name and it's not by a video or anything like that. If you are a complete newbie and you're needing that support, Toned and Trendy is for you. But first things first, I would be going into that. If you only have 3 days to work out, because this is a 5-day workout split, if you only have 3 days to work out, I would be doing an upper body, a lower body, and a full body split. That is like the most optimal. Do you need to purchase this and train all 5 days? Absolutely not. I literally only train 4 days. It's your discretion and what you want to do, but I honestly think if you're craving some structure in the gym, that's the best place to start. If you're someone that's like, you don't feel confident in the gym and you need someone to kind of teach you with the equipment and things like that, honestly, this is not for you. You would be better off coming into Toned and Trendy so that I can go through your form and go through everything that you need. But if you're like, okay, yeah, I'm just looking for some structure and stuff, that is for you. Now let's talk on the 1,300 calories, because I almost threw up when she told me that a dietitian had set this for her. Just for context, I'm a nutrition coach. I've done my nutrition qualification, but I am not a dietitian. That requires a university degree and also a registration under the Dietitian and Dietetics Council. I'm registered under the Nutrition Council and I have done my Cert 4 in that, but it is a different ball game when you're a dietitian. I thought, considering all of the study that you have to do, that this dietitian would be a little bit more prepared and put together than telling someone who, by the way, I don't know her stats, obviously. I don't work with her one-to-one. We were just having a chat, but she is taller than me and she is a very, very busy girl. And I can't believe that she was put on 1,300 and she was like, I'm struggling so much to stick to it. This is such a hard number. I can't eat out. I can't have a social life. And I said, I'm not surprised, because there's no way that you can eat more than like breakfast, lunch, and basically dinner without going over your calories. How are you supposed to live when your deficit is 1,300 calories? And so I said to her, we need to change that ASAP. I'm surprised that you're even functioning and getting out of bed, working all these jobs and having such a social life with such low calories. You wouldn't believe the fact that some of my clients literally lose weight on like 1,800 calories, which is almost a whole nother meal and then a snack over what other people are doing. Again, this is so dependent on the individual. Don't be sliding into my DMs asking me for calories and macros based on you. I don't know you from a bar of soap, but I still think this is a great conversation to listen to. Sometimes less is more exercise wise, but sometimes nutrition, more is more and beneficial. We need to fuel our body for our sessions. If we want to put on some muscle and get that toned look, we need to be making sure we're eating enough to get through our session. If we aren't eating enough, we're not feeling our body and we're going to be slogging it in the gym. And then we're not going to be able to work on ourselves and be hot for this next relationship that we're going to have, which I know is, again, I'm just joking. I want you to work on you so you can actually answer my question of what fills up your cup, what makes you happy, what are things you look forward to. I want you to find your identity outside of a relationship, outside of health and fitness, outside of work. Who are you? I'm going to leave it there. I feel like that's such a good question and good note to end on. Who are you? Walk away, have a think about it. I hope this has sparked something in your brain, and I can't wait to hear what you come back with. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.